Hello guys, good morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Lawrence Tour and Cook NZ Vlog. Nagbabalik na naman ang inyong YouTuber na si Lawrence. So, ngayon is papasyal tayo sa Balmoral Church. So, samahan niyo ako guys. Let's go!
Amazing, unique life, travelling and living out of one bag for 8 years, becoming a leading voice and author on anxiety, and hosting her own podcast, Wild. She's also taken on perhaps our greatest fight of all, climate change, and she's with us from Sydney. Kia ora, good morning, Sarah.
It's wonderful to be speaking to you from here in Sydney.
It is such a pleasure to be speaking with you. You know, I think you have had one of the most unique and interesting careers of anyone we've had on this show. And, you know, when I think about the things you've covered over the years, sugar, our diets, our waste culture, our convenience culture, climate change, it's like you're always one step ahead. I wonder how you're choosing your subjects.
I don't know that I am. I was about to answer your question about why and how I've done so much by saying I'm just old.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No.
I think that that negates any kind of trendiness going on. I suppose I am very observant, and I am on social media, and I listen, and I don't know, I get a bit of I call it a smell. When I can smell something happening, when I can feel and sense that the population's not happy, you know, it starts to bubble. You can smell it, you know, it's got a bad smell. And with sugar, certainly that's what happened. Anxiety, climate stuff, all the different projects I've moved around. I feel that something's bubbling. I feel frustration. Everyone around me is just going, what do we do? How do we fix it?
Yeah.
And I happen to have a habit of going down very long rabbit holes. So I don't think I'm particularly extraordinary, except that I'm prepared to go down those rabbit holes and stay down there until I emerge with information that might actually help people.
So let's talk about sugar a little bit, and I'm sure you're sick to death of talking about it, so I hope you'll forgive me for asking. But take us back to the...
a little while.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Take us back to the genesis. Take us back to the very beginning. What did you hope the I Quit Sugar movement would be?
So it started out with me just playing around with my own health. I have an autoimmune disease. Many of your listeners would know about it or know someone with it. It's called Hashimoto's, and nobody could help me. I wasn't getting any better. So I experimented with a bunch of things. One of them was quitting sugar, and it seemed to work. After 2 weeks, I noticed a difference. So I started looking into science of it. It was really not a thing back then. Like, people would say to me, oh, you're telling us to eliminate an entire food group. And I'm like, sugar's not a food group.
Yeah.
And it was met with a lot of resistance. But really, my aim, I put all my information after about a year of research into an ebook. So I paid $100 to go and learn how to write an ebook on an online course. And I thought, if I sell 100 of these things, maybe it'll cover my costs. And anyway, it went on to be an Amazon bestseller within a couple of weeks. So my aim was 100 ebooks, and look what happened.
Yeah, it's amazing how it connected with people, right? And it just felt like the right book in the right moment. But it sort of morphed into something that you hadn't really either anticipated or hoped for. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, I sort of did everything back to front. So I did the ebook, and then the traditional publishers came and said, look, you know, let's do it as a print book. And then that turned into a New York Times bestseller and ended up being sold in 52 countries.
What was the secret sauce, do you think? Why did it become such a behemoth?
I think it arrived at a time where people were also... When I first started out, no, but gradually people were prepared to listen to also the political message about it, because people went, why have we got so much sugar in our diet? Why am I so addicted? And I started pulling apart all the biological and evolutionary reasons. And it's like, well, how come we've got so much today? And of course, it is the food industry. So I think the world was right for understanding that. You know, I wrote my thoughts a few years earlier, and in fact, I did top this at first. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you know, which is funny hearing that word now. But
it's like people had an appropriate level of skepticism.
Correct. I think that was it. And I think we were fed up. Also, autoimmune diseases and a whole range of health conditions were just going up and up, which have got direct links to sugar consumption. So
Yeah.
I think it was a message that people were like, this could be the missing piece.
Yeah. It's amazing what it became from that relatively humble ebook to a New York Times bestseller in the printed version, and then a business that employed 25 staff.
Yeah.
And here's Sarah Wilson on top of the world. She says, you know what? I'm done with this. I never wanted this to be a big business. I never wanted to be making heaps of money out of this. I want out. Tell me about that decision.
Yeah, that was a bizarre one. I'll try to say it reasonably speedily. So when I first started to do quite well, I got an accountant, because that was a grown-up thing to do in my mid-30s. And Harry, my accountant, said, what are your financial goals? And I said, I don't do financial goals. I don't care. He said, no, make something up. And I said, well, in 5 years' time, I would like to have made enough money to live off the basic wage, or sort of, the average wage, I should say, until I'm 94.
Right.
And he said, well, what will you do when you reach that goal? And I said, well, the recipes, the photography, and I gave everything to charity and continue to. So I then, every 6 months, I set up a charity project and used the money to sort of get awareness of the project and get other people donating. And what I do is I match dollar for dollar. So I do projects where I get the community to donate and I match dollar for dollar, and it just, doubles the amount. Yeah, so
that's so amazing.
Went off and did other things.
See, okay, I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to human nature, right? I feel like everyone, when they're not very wealthy, says like, yeah, if I got wealthy, I'd want to, I'd be into effective altruism and I'd give my money away and things. But then as they start to get a bit wealthier, their values just slowly start to change. And it's like you resisted that. Was there any part of you that actually thought, you know what, Harry, is it? I said that I just wanted to be able to, get by on the average wage until I'm 94. Actually, yeah, exactly. Actually, I'd really like a helicopter,
Yeah. No, I think I grew up in a family that had no money, and we grew up in the country on subsistence living property. I was the editor of Cosmo at a very young age. I was 29. It was the New Zealand edition as well that I edited. And I even then resisted it. I didn't have a car. I rode a bike, to the big head office, and I wore secondhand clothing, and I
didn't even own high heels, right? Like we all think of that as a very glamorous kind of role, like a Devil Wears Prada situation.
There was a lot of smoke and mirrors, like nobody really knew. But I resisted. People just didn't want to give you handbags. I never owned a handbag in that whole time, and to this day I don't. I own a little satchel, but that's it.
Yeah.
So for me, I suppose I also, when I had that sort of big breakdown at 34 that prompted me to make this commitment, I'd got really unwell, and I also have various mental illnesses.
Yeah.
Had them from a young age, and of course, we might get to this, but I wrote a book about that, so it's no big secret that I have bipolar. And so I'd seen the depths, the darknesses, and I'd seen how money didn't make it much better. I realised how much money I needed to be able to get by and be happy. And I'm certainly not living on any kind of breadline right now.
No.
But I don't own a car. I ride a bike everywhere. I rent my apartment. All of my furniture's second hand. I buy...
You don't own it? You don't own an apartment?
Oh, I own an investment place.
Right.
The one I'm living in is just a...
Yeah, you just rent it.
An apartment in a block of 6,
Yeah.
I've never... I guess, I think it was Walt Whitman said, tone your needs down so low such that you enjoy the sun and the moon, or something like that. It was far more poetic than that. But I think I grasped that in my 30s.
Yeah.
I realised that the more money I got, the more stress was created, and I actually get more fun out of, or more enjoyment out of, I don't know, putting 2 fingers up to the system and doing things differently. And as soon as I shake things up, really good stuff starts to happen, So I've come to trust that, that whole jumping into the unknown. And if you're hanging on to a whole lot of material wealth and houses and belongings and, I don't know, a shoe collection, you can't jump, And so what do we want out of this life? Is it to be stuck and to accumulate and get suffocated by all our things, or is it to be free and to have flow? And I think a certain amount of money certainly is required to, you know.
You want enough money to not have to worry about money, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But my bar would be lower. You know what I mean? Like, I start worrying about money, you know, if I get much closer to the poverty line than most people. But I also don't like the idea of living in a world of inequity, and I champion it. And it's not an empty chant. It's something that I really believe. I feel revolting thinking about me having this much money and somebody down the road really struggling.
If you were queen of the world right now, you could snap your fingers and stuff would happen. President of the human race, what would you do? What would be day one? You get in at your desk, 8:30 in the morning. What's the top priority?
Oh, don't tempt me. Do you know what? I use that phrase all the time. If I was president of the world, I have lots of pretty scary edicts that come out of my mouth sometimes. I think I would, I mean, speaking to wages and so on, a universal basic income, I think would be awesome. And I think also having a structure where the richest person can only earn a maximum of 10 times the amount of the lowest wage. And that actually does play out in certain Scandinavian countries. They've got that structure.
Yeah, right.
And so, yeah, I think that would be a really good starting point. I would then tax the fossil fuel industry super heavily and appropriately, and put all of that money into electrifying the entire planet so that we have a grid that works.
Do you feel at all optimistic about our progress in climate change?
Optimistic, I would say I'm hopeful. And a wonderful writer, Rebecca Solnit, she's written quite a bit about hope, and she says that hope is optimism plus action. You need the action. Otherwise, optimism is as destructive as pessimism, because essentially you're saying, hey, it'll be all right, I don't have to do anything. And pessimism is, you know, we're all going to the toilet, why bother doing anything? It's the same outcome.
Yeah, right.
So optimism, no, I'm not optimistic. I'm hopeful, but only while ever I'm doing everything I can. And what's really interesting, Jack, is like the fight. I don't really like using that word, but essentially that's what it is. The fight to kind of campaign on climate issues and do everything I can to mobilise and educate and do whatever I can is something that actually has created the structure for meaning in my life. My life feels richer than it ever has. And it's dialed down my anxiety. I know that sounds weird, but most climate psychologists, and that is actually a legit realm these days, say that the best salve for climate anxiety is climate action. So, yeah, that's my type of hope.
I think this is the thing that makes you such a unique and special person. You have found a way to communicate with people, whether it's through stories, whether it's through your own experiences, through your communication, that you are able to connect with people and affect positive change. And I wonder, if you reflect over your career, what have you learned about the best ways to help create a mass movement?
My goodness, you asked some good questions. That's a great one. I think sometimes what I do is I actually stand back a fair bit and see where the gap is. Where is the bit in the dialogue where we're not addressing the pain, the real deep collective pain, you know? So, you know, with the climate movement, for instance, it's the fear of things, you know, and so I try to go into that space. What will the world look like? And then I try to go, well, what could the world look like? The thing, if I was to sum it up into a pithy statement, it would be, to create change, you've got to make the new way sexier than the status quo. So there's no point making it look like we're all going to self-flagellate with some soggy cabbage leaves, right? We can't look miserable as we fight the climate, or we go up against the sugar industry and try to get our health on track. We've got to actually make it fun. So with the sugar movement, the food was colourful. I turned everything into sort of almost an adventure. And with the climate movement, you know, I don't have a big old whine about riding a bike, and I don't get self-conscious about every photo that anyone sees me and I'm wearing the same clothes. Yeah. I'm out and loud and proud, showing how easy my life is, because I don't have to worry about going shopping, and I get places faster because I'm on a bike, and I love it. Yeah. And I genuinely love living this way. It's not like I'm making a big sacrifice. Every now and then I do think, gosh, it'd be so easy if I I was one of those people that didn't sort all my recycling so methodically. I could just run out the door, you know. But what else are you going to do? Most people are bored. I'd rather be in action, doing physical kind of engaged stuff. Humans like to engage and use our bodies. And if you look at people who have got outdoor jobs, look at their physiques. They're not going to the gym, but they just look really, you know, they look like humans are meant to look.
Yeah. Hey, we have to wrap up, I'm afraid. It is such a pleasure speaking with you. I could continue this conversation all day, but thank you so much for giving us your time.
My pleasure. It's lovely to chat with New Zealanders.
That is the founder of the I Quit Sugar movement, Sarah Wilson. Such a joy to speak with her this morning. Before 11 o'clock on News Talk ZB, Mercedes has just come up with this crazy new plan. So they've got an e-vehicle, like an electric vehicle, and if you want the vehicle to go as fast as it possibly can, so if you want to have it in maximum acceleration mode, you don't pay more when you buy the vehicle in the first place. Instead, you have to pay a monthly subscription. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to tell you more about that before 11 o'clock. Right now, it's 23 past 10 on News Talk ZB.
Need to maximise beef and dairy production and get the best deals for quality stock food? Call 0800 4J-Swap, New Zealand's trusted supplier. Swap to J-Swap.
Indian bowlers can fire in-swingers at over 150 Ks, and the fans are louder than ever. India are coming. Are you ready? Catch Black Caps versus India 18th to the 30th of November. Every ball on Spark Sport.
What? Reindeer already? Oh no, it's a herd of piggy banks. They're heading to Pack and Save for $5 weeks to get amazing deals store-wide. On Rasher, on Pigs In. Jingle all the way to Pack and Save for $5 weeks. On now.
Did you know cleaning the paint on your house each year could double its usable life? Biological growth and airborne contaminants break down paint prematurely, meaning you might need to repaint years earlier than you'd like. Double Bubble House Shampoo, along with our huge extendable brush, will keep your paintwork in top condition and save you thousands long term. So, a couple of hours once a year is time and money well spent. Come in and see your local Wet and Forget team. 7 Auckland stores: Silverdale, Westgate, Mairangi Bay, Mount Eden, Lonair, Takanini and Pukekohe.
Hurry into Fruit World for this week's super fresh and tasty specials. Australian round beans are only $3.99 per 300 gram bag. Fresh cut NZ lettuces are only $1.69 each. For these delicious Fruit World specials and more, check out fruitworld.co.nz. Shop Fruit World first. It's worth it. It's an unprecedented event and great news for anyone wanting to adorn their garden, patio or outdoor space. 4 containers packed with inspiration have landed at Stone and Water World. 4 containers full of garden sculptures, water features and more. Make your outdoor space the envy of the neighbourhood. Head to Stone and Water World, Mount Wellington and Albany, the home of over 100 working displays.
7 days.
North Shore Brass Band brings you Christmas at Holy Trinity, Saturday, December 3rd, featuring the award-winning Westlake Girls High Cantari Choir, the North Shore Brass Academy Band, and Auckland's champion band, North Shore Brass, under the direction of international cornet virtuoso Harman Van Horn. Enjoy your favourite carols, as well as a little sing-along in the enchanting Holy Trinity Cathedral. Book now at Event Finder. Doors open 6 p.m. Christmas at Holy Trinity. Enjoy some well-deserved Christmas joy with North Shore Brass.
Start your weekend off in style. Saturday mornings with Jack Tame and Cracker Jack, the bargain hunter's best friend. News Talk ZB.
It is 26 past 10 on News Talk ZB. Tara Ward is here with her screen time picks for all of us. We're looking for something good to watch or stream this weekend. Hey Tara.
Good morning.
First of all, what can you tell us about Echo 3?
Yeah, if you like a bit of political intrigue or a bit of adventure and survival, this is Echo 3, which is a new drama on Apple TV+. And this is created by Mark Bowl, who wrote Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, which is going to give you the military vibe of the show. And it's adapted from an Israeli series called When Heroes Fly, which is also on Netflix and looks really good as well. But this series starts in America. It's about a scientist who is kidnapped while she's working in Colombia. She's the daughter-in-law of a politician, and so her disappearance is big news. The CIA gets involved. Her brother and her new husband are both in the military. They've served in the elite forces and they've served in Afghanistan. They have quite a complicated history together. But they decide to launch a rescue mission and go to South America to find her. But of course, things quite don't go to plan. And this is a little bit more thoughtful than your standard military series. It's a bit more ambitious. The characters are drawn a little bit more sensitively, but at the same time, it's got that familiar American hero narrative to it.
Yeah.
The first episode is a little bit slow for an action thriller. I'm hoping that it will pick up. Morrison pops up in this as well. That was a lovely surprise when I was watching it. But it does pick up on a lot of political tension and political intrigue, and so I think if you're a fan of shows like Homeland or The Americans or Jack Ryan, or just lovable thriller, I think you'll enjoy this.
Oh, okay, cool. That's Eco 3. That's on Apple TV Plus. Sounds good. On Netflix, tell us about Wednesday.
Yeah, this is the latest spin-off of The Addams Family, and it's directed by Tim Burton. So, as soon as I say Tim Burton, you know what the series is going to be like. It's dark and quirky and charming. And this focuses on the daughter of the Addams Family, Wednesday, and she's causing trouble at her regular high school. She gets shipped off to a place called Balmoral Academy, which is a boarding school for outcasts, and she has to survive high school while also solving a murder mystery, as you do. So this is a coming-of-age story. It's heavy on the teen angst, but I don't think it's a show just for teenagers. I think adults will enjoy this as well. It's really sharp and snappy and kind of deliciously creepy. It's a bit like Riverdale or Nancy Drew, those kind of teen shows that don't take themselves too seriously, and they make that crossover into adult territory as well. This comes with a fantastic cast. Jenna Ortega plays
So, yan guys, nandito na tayo sa Balmoral Church. So, yan. Kapapasok ko lang kanina sa loob ng simbahan at nakapag-pray na rin ako. So, yan. Papakita ko sa inyo to guys. Yung palagi kong pinupuntahan pag may pag nagpe-pray ako at may mga inihiling tayo ng mga wishes. And si ang ating Our Lady of Lourdes. Our Lady of Lourdes. Ayan guys. Diyan ako nagpe-pray palagi. Nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng mga blessings. So ayan guys. Huwag tayong makakalimot palaging mag-pray. So ayan guys. Thank you. So ayan. Yung Balmoral Church. Okay. Ayan. Ito ang gaganda na rin yung mga puno dito. So ayan guys. Alright. So ayan guys. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel para ma-notify kayo sa lahat ng mga videos na aking gagawin. See you guys. See you. Salamat. Thank you.